Hey, good morning to everybody. A happy Tuesday to you. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. You know it. It's 3:30. It's before 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. It's actually 3:20 a.m. Okay, if it's before 3:30, you watch my channel, you know that means I'm kind of revved up, and I'm excited for today's video. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share something very corny with you, and just stick with me here. I did a video before of my usual day. You know, when I wake up at 2, I go through the news stories, and I pray. The very first thing I do is I pray, and it's a relatively long prayer. I say the Lord's Prayer, the Hail Mary, the 23rd Psalm, and then it's a long prayer. It's about 10 minutes long, and in that prayer, stick with me here. In that prayer, this is corny. I've never told anybody this. I pray that today I will bring love. I'm going to be a good man today. That today I'm going to bring love, peace, and happiness to all those people that I come in contact with. I pray this every day for like the last 16 and a half years since I've been clean and sober. Every single day I pray. And that's part of my prayer. And it's kind of bothered me because I do that, you know, in my usual day as best I can, except for when I do these videos, especially yesterday and the day before. I think it was the day before. I was kind of antagonizing to to conservative men. I haven't even checked those videos yet. I haven't checked the comments, the views, or anything. But, you know, as I pray, I think of, you know, I'm sticking to that, except for my video. So today, I want to do it on this video. I'm going to talk about something a little different. I got 2 stories for you guys, and they should bring a smile to your face. And if you're my age and you like rock music and Aerosmith, then you should be interested in the story. I'm going to tell you about a story about the LA Philharmonic and a woman that really enjoyed the show. I'm going to tell you about Aerosmith's farewell tour, Peace Out. And I'm going to tell you guys about, I've been to well over 100 concerts, and I'm going to share with you. If it's not the best concert I ever saw, it was one of the most amazing, memorable shows I ever saw. It was Guns N' Roses opening up, Deep Purple playing second, and Aerosmith playing third at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey on August 16th, 1988. Now I'll have the link for that down below. I found the actual concert information from the show I was at. I'm going to tell you guys about that whole experience. Let's start off with the first story here. Like I said, I'm going to try to bring a smile to your face. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how the views go on this. Okay, the first story is from LA, from the Walt Disney Concert Hall in LA. I think this was last Friday. And this is a goof. I just got a few thoughts on this. During Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, it kind of climaxes, right? And apparently a woman did too. And I'll have the links down below. You could hear this and watch it for yourselves. Apparently a woman had a full body climax during the show. And there's people that disagree. That, you know, Ralph Fiennes, the actor, his brother Magnus Fiennes is a conductor, and he's the one that kind of witnessed this and said, you know, it was beautiful that she had a full body. And her let me tell you the whole story. So as the music ends, you can hear kind of a moaning scream. Like I said, you can listen to this down below yourselves. There's some different takes on this. There's people that were around this woman that said they believed it was a medical incident. The woman was having a medical problem, or was distraught, or maybe she woke up from a dream, or maybe it was Tourette's. And then again, this is what I thought when I read that. I thought, well, maybe a lot of these guys that are coming up, because I didn't see any quotes from women, you know, and I thought maybe some of these men are inexperienced in hearing this sound and they don't know what it is. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can't hear enough of it. I can't make a decision either way. I can't say what it was. You know, it sounds like a very loud, enjoyable moment. I can't tell though. I'd have to see it and hear it at the same time to really make a decision. So the link to this is down below. Okay. Now, on to the next story. Okay, so if you're into rock at all, I've seen well over 100 concerts. My very first concert was at the Hartford Civic Center, August 20th, 1980. Queen, News of the World. I was 14 years old. Then I saw Cheap Trick, and so on and so forth. But one of the best shows I ever saw was I was 22 years old, And I was involved in some activities. This all plays into it. Guns N' Roses had become a very big, huge, they just exploded around 1980, what was it, 1986, 1987, I'm going to guess. And they never came to this part of the country. This part of the country, New England, was just so, it was starving to see this band from Los Angeles, and they never came to this area. They were supposed to play this town where I'm sitting right now, this city where I'm sitting, Bristol, Connecticut, and I don't think they ever did play. This was after. This was probably during the 1990s. They were supposed to play at Lake Compounce, about a couple miles from where I'm sitting right here, and they canceled. They canceled a lot of shows during that period because of the drug abuse of the band. Okay, let me tell you about this show. So, I was 22 years old. I was working for an architect at the time, and I found out, like I said, I all of a sudden got word that there was going to be a big show in New York City. And I remembered I had just gotten my first credit card when I was 21 years old. And there was no computers back then. And the whole system of actually calling to get tickets with a credit card had just started probably that decade, a few years earlier. And I remembered I had a credit card, so I called up and I got 4 tickets up in the 3rd tier. So they were going fast. The day of the show, 5 guys wanted to go, 5 of my friends. I was the oldest. I was in a business, I was dealing at that time, and I brought with me about over a quarter ounce of Colombia's export. I'm not proud of that, but it kind of plays into the story here. Okay, so the day of the show, I'm working for the architect. I'm all dressed up in a tie, 22 years old. I'll see if I can find any pictures. I'll find pictures of me dressed up as a tie with my suitcase and everything, 22. And just before I'm ready to leave, I'm going to leave early. I asked my boss to leave early. And he comes to me and he says, I got a favor to ask of you. His daughter came in, and his daughter worked with handicapped kids with mental challenges. Children, and she had brought in a field trip of about 10 of these children, and he asked me, there was a construction job we were working on right behind our office, and he asked me if I could take his daughter and these children on a tour of the construction site and just explain in my own words what we do, the architecture and all that, and I was very flattered that he asked me to do it, so I couldn't say no. So, I take these kids through, and I actually enjoyed it. It's actually one of the most memorable moments of my life, almost as much as the concert, was taking those kids through this construction site, these mentally challenged kids, and the daughter of my boss. I finally got to leave. Me and my 4 friends loaded up in my car. I think it was a Buick. It was a huge Buick Electra or something. And we drove down to East Rutherford, New Jersey. Okay. Like I said, I bought 4 tickets, and there were 5 of us. For the first thing we worried about was getting the 5th person a ticket. It was probably about 5 p.m. I think we pulled up. Sometime in the late afternoon, we pulled up in this huge complex of Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Giant Stadium. It's not just one stadium. It's a complex of buildings and parking lots. It's a huge area. And we pull up to Giant Stadium and we get out, and this is one of the best things. I could hear from the empty, there's no cars in the parking lot yet except for us. We're looking for scalp tickets or to get any tickets at the box office or anything from the 5th friend, and I could hear like the opening riff from Paradise City. And I could hear it, and it would stop. We all heard it. We're like, wow. We could hear it coming from inside the stadium. The stadium's open. We could hear the guitar. And we're like, wow, they're warming up. It's a sound check. Later, the video for Paradise City would come out. And in that video, you see Slash in the middle of Giant Stadium. It's empty. And he's doing a sound check, and he's playing the riff for Paradise City. What we were hearing was Slash inside, and them filming the video to Paradise City. Very cool. Okay, so we managed. I don't remember how we managed to get the 5th ticket. We got it. Then we went to look for a hotel for 5 guys. 5 guys, all lit up, tweaked out, in a big Buick Electra in like, around, in the cities of like, East Rutherford, New Jersey. We pull up at I think it's a Red Roof Inn, and we all go in. I think there was all 5 of us went into the office, and they said, yeah, we have a room. And then they asked all 5 of us, do you want to rent it by the hour? And I looked at my friends and I was like, what kind of place is this? They're asking 5 guys if we want to rent the hotel room for an hour. And I'm like, what kind of place are, it's obviously not a family hotel. I don't know what 5 guys are going to do in a hotel room, but it's not a family orientated activity, I'm sure. But we ended up getting a hotel room. Okay, so we go to the show. Our seats are way up top, and it's still light. I still remember this, still light out. It's August 16th, 1988, summertime. We're way up, third tier. We're looking down. There's 2 tiers, and then the giant. I had never been in Giant Stadium before. There's a big blue wall around the field. Never been. That's the only time I've ever been this stadium. And Guns N' Roses comes in. We can see them. They're way down there, but we can see them. Axl Rose is wearing white leather, and he's wearing a shirt with the Coca-Cola logo on it, except it doesn't say Coca-Cola. It says cocaine across it. I still remember this, and Slash comes out, and they don't look anywhere near like they look today. Axl was very thin, and he looked, he looked like a junkie. He did. The whole band they looked like they were staggering around the stage. I found the actual set list from that day. It'll be down below. They didn't play very many songs. They played about 8 or 9 songs, and they argued I remember them arguing during the show. It wasn't that great a show. They were off, and they'd stop the song, and then they'd start again. And during the first couple songs, we said, screw this, and we started running down the top tier, down to the stairs, down to the next tier, down to the next tier, down to the field. We're rushing the stage from the 3rd tier. Okay, so we get to the blue wall, right? And people are just jumping off and running, and the bouncers are trying to catch kids jumping down the big blue wall that surrounds the field at Giant Stadium. It's about a 10, 12-foot drop. And I'm watching the people drop down, and the bouncers are catching a few here and there. There's a whole line of bouncers catching people. And then if the people made it into the crowd, there's a crowd of thousands of people in front of the stage. And if they made it into the crowd, they were good. So I'm watching, and I'm waiting for a lot of people to drop before I drop down. And I go for it. I drop along with all my friends. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I got to hit the ground running, from 10 or 12 feet up. Because if I stumble, if I go down, they're going to grab me. It's going to be all over. I'm going to get booted from the show. And I hit that ground running, and we all made it into the crowd. What a show. I remember looking around and seeing girls with their tops off. The parts of this show were in the video for Paradise City, like I said. Thing was, this show was like 6 hours long. And I didn't take into account, I couldn't leave the floor because they checked your tickets. I couldn't leave the field because they would check my ticket. So I couldn't go to the bathroom for 6 hours, man. I remember holding it for 6 hours, to watch this show. Okay, so like I said, Guns N' Roses argued. And I remember this, at the end of the show, I don't know if it was Slash. I think it was Slash that came up. Axl and Slash actually started arguing on stage. If anybody else went to this show and you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. And I think Slash said something about, or Axl, I don't know if it was Axl talking about Slash, I can't remember, it was 35 years ago. But one of them said, people in this band aren't clean like they said they'd be. They were talking about drugs. And it was kind of odd. Honestly, they were nothing like they were today. They looked a little better than a garage band. They were falling around the stage. Axl does not, he was probably he was probably about 110 pounds, 120 pounds, skinny, greasy hair. All the 5 original members, Duff McKagan, all of them. And they didn't play long. Deep Purple comes on. Oh my God, Deep Purple rocks the house, man. I just remember John Lord, the organ player. I think it was Highway Star. That set will be down below too. And he's playing this huge organ. and he's rocking it back and forth like for Highway Star. And, you know, so it's almost looking like it's going to tip over, and he rocks it back and forward and back, you know, so it's tipping, you know, on its edges, forward and backwards, as he's playing it, you know. And I'm like, wow, you know, and they look so much more polished than Guns N' Roses did at that time. They really show, you know, compared to Guns N' Roses, you know, Deep Purple looked like a band, you know. But then Aerosmith came on, and oh my God, I've seen Aerosmith at least 10 times. They're from this area. They're from Boston. Steven Tyler's original name is Steven Tallarico. He's always been an idol. One of my, if I, you know, they ask you the question, if you could meet one person, living or dead, and talk to him for like an hour, who would it be? Steven Tyler, you know, because of his, you know, his substance abuse issues, his struggles with that. He's from this area. I can't say more than that. Let's just say he goes to NA meetings, and we'll leave it there. And they are just the consummate professionals. I remember, this is one part I remember. There's toilet paper being thrown up onto the stage during the Aerosmith show. Like from all, it must have been from the bathrooms. I don't know, because I couldn't get to the bathroom, but there's toilet paper flying up, you know, streaming up, rolls of toilet paper. And Tyler doesn't get mad. Tyler goes with it, and he actually catches a roll of toilet paper and punts it back out into the audience. You know, I remember it comes right over my head, you know, and I'm like, that guy is just so freaking cool. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. This guy is so cool. I remember looking up. I'm on the field and it's dark, and I could see the boxes, you know, the big boxes where where the offices, you know, the big special seating places way up top, the glassed-in boxes, and you could see Deep Purple, the band, sitting up there in one of the boxes watching Aerosmith play. It was just such a cool moment. Then it gets even cooler. The airport's near there. I don't know, remember which airport. And the planes are taking off. You could see the jets taking off behind the stage, and then there's fireworks going off. The fireworks were, you know, away from the planes taking off, obviously, but it was an orgasmic moment. You know, I'm surprised that there was probably women screaming and orgasming during this show. The fireworks, just like the you know, not just little fireworks, a lot of fireworks, and then jets taking off from, I can't remember. There's like 3 airports right in that area. I can't remember one of them now. Kennedy. I can't remember the other ones. Shoot, I'll remember them after the video ends. Anyway, it was one of the most spectacular shows I ever saw. We all went back to the Red Roof Inn. We didn't sleep all night, obviously, due to the Colombian export, and we all went back home the next day, very tired, and one of the best shows I've ever seen. Let me know what you think of this video, because I have so many more stories about videos I saw. It's the biggest bands, the biggest rock. I've seen every band you could name, except for maybe Led Zeppelin. Let me know how you like this video. I got some more stories. You guys, you can see I'm running along. Have a good Tuesday.